Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today with another Latin Chats interview. Today I am going to be interviewing a really awesome girl from Puerto Rico, and so I'm excited to have her join us and share her story and share all that she's doing and how she's able to manage that balancing of 9 to 5 job and also her business, right? So I look forward to having her join us and share all that she's doing on her end. So here we go. Let me include Wanda. Get started. Thank you everyone for joining. Gracias a todos por conectarse. Wanda!
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're doing good.
Perfect. Perfect, give me
Yay,
one
so
second.
excited. How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy bien, estoy bien. You know, this is
Okay.
my first live, so I'm kind of
See,
feeling
no, no, it's gonna be great. I know
Yeah,
we're gonna do great. Yeah, you have a lot to share. I know your story is
yeah.
really empowering, and I know it's gonna inspire a lot of people. So just hang
Gracias.
tight. You're gonna do great.
Yep.
So Wanda, first off, thank you so much for accepting to share your story and all that you're
Yeah.
doing. Thank you so much for jumping on board. And we'll just kind of dive into it, okay?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Should
so
know.
if you don't mind sharing like your full name and where you were born and raised.
Yeah, sure. So my full name, the Latina name is Wanda Ruiz Santiago. So I am from Puerto Rico. I am still live in Puerto Rico. So yeah, I have had several opportunities to move due to my job, but I always said no. Like I want to be one of those people that wants to stay here and fight for the wealth of Puerto Rico. So yeah,
Yeah,
here I
yeah.
am.
Nice. And so your family is from Puerto Rico, I'm sure too, right?
Sí, yeah, yeah. My
¿De qué
family is
parte?
here. It's in the south area of
Okay.
Puerto Rico. So
Okay.
I don't know, for the Boricuas here, it will be in Santa Isabel and Coamo. And right now I live in Gurabo. So that's the northeast, maybe. It's
Okay.
for everybody that knows it, that will be like 15 minutes from San Juan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Super. And in regards to your degrees, so can you just kind of share with us what,
Yeah.
like how many degrees you have? You have like so much under your plate. So just briefly share like, what degrees you have, where you went to school, and then we'll dive into it a little bit more later on.
Okay, sure. So I have a bachelor degree in mechanical engineering and a master degree in engineering management. The first one is from the University of Puerto Rico. It's called El Colegio. And my master degree is from the Polytechnic University of Puerto Rico. So yeah,
Nice.
it's those two. I have a couple of certifications and stuff in my belt, but it's mostly those two.
Nice. Awesome. And currently, do you mind just sharing kind of
Rincon,
what?
hi.
Yeah, we got some folks here that are saying
Yeah.
that they are going to be in Puerto Rico, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
Rincon. I'm
so
gonna
really
be in
cool.
Rincon in May. Yeah, I separated an Airbnb in May, so I'm gonna be there soon. Rincon is my favorite part of Puerto Rico. I love it.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Awesome. And so currently, what does your job entail right now? Like, what's your career? What do you do currently as a job?
Yeah, so I have my 9 to 5 job and I do have a business. My business is called Filler Project, in which I am the CEO and founder. But I also work as a portfolio manager in my 9 to 5. It's in the healthcare industry. It's also pretty
Nice.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so let's dive right into it. Kind of like first
Yeah.
off, start kind of with your story, and then we'll dive into your career, your education, and kind of a little bit more on those topics. So let's talk about like how it was growing up as a Latina in Puerto Rico. I mean, Puerto Rico is like Latino all over.
Yeah.
Even though it's part of the U.S., but how was it for you kind of growing up as a Latina in Puerto Rico?
Uh, I mean, growing up in Puerto Rico, it's great. I'm pretty sure that any millennial that you talk to will tell you the same. He,
Yeah.
she, they will tell you the same thing. But in my specific case, I had to make the most with what I had due to family reasons. So I ended up leaving home at 14, which is crazy, right? So
Wow.
I lived in the west side of the island until I graduated college. I went to school there, like senior school, it's called in English, and high school,
Mm-hmm.
until I graduated, and then I went to the corporate world. But to be honest, Jenny, I wish I knew there was another option, like another world I could thrive outside of corporate. At the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I didn't know that. I thought
Mm.
everybody thinks, in Puerto Rico at least, you think the same thing, like I need to graduate and go to work for somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, 11 years after, I finally, was able to found a future project. So, but
Yeah.
I wish it was sooner.
Yeah, wow. And so at the age of 14, you had to kind of
Yeah,
start growing up and doing
yeah,
um, more of the adult kind of
yeah.
life, on your
It's
own
crazy.
and being a Latina and being a woman and like having to do that all by yourself. Like, do you feel like Puerto Rico, I mean, in general, I feel like it has its own culture. It's very
Yeah,
lively. There's always so much happening.
yeah.
Mucha rumba.
Así mismo.
um, but I mean, not a lot of people can say that they've left their home at 14 years old and
Yeah,
have to like start life on their own somewhere or another,
yeah,
and so doing
that's
that,
true.
like what were some of the challenges that you kind of faced as a 14-year-old trying to go to school, graduating so early from high school? Like you can kind of share a little bit on that, but like
Yeah,
just taking life that way, that it's not always like so common for women to kind of have
that's
to
true.
do that,
Yeah, no, it was hard. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I was lucky enough to find my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I left home. I went to live in a school. So it was a school that you could actually sleep there. And then I met some of the best people I know over
Mm-hmm.
there. And then I needed to start like having some kind of income. So I entered that school at 14, and then I graduated high school at 15 in order to be able to go to college. And like uh, what's beca in English? What's the name?
Scholarship.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So that in order to have all of that, so I graduated at 15, and then I started college at 15, and I
Mm-hmm.
moved with my tribe to college. Like we went all together, and
Ah,
seriously, without those two people in my life, I wouldn't be here. Like they are amazing.
wow.
Shout out to my best friends in the world. Um,
Oh,
and of course, being a college student, it's also like at 15, it's crazy.
yeah.
So I yeah, I was trying to make the best out of it, but I think that my drive and trying to make sure that I graduated and move forward with my life and being focused on my health, my mental health was critical in order to make it happen. Between surround yourself with the right people and making sure that you actually graduate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So I mean, I know that you started college 15 at 15, right?
Yeah, it was 15. It was 15. I graduated, I started, yeah, it was 15.
Wow. Yeah,
Just,
and so I know in Puerto Rico, I mean, there are opportunities. I mean, it's so awesome. I don't think I hear a lot of
yeah,
students that have that opportunity in the US. So like popular for students to kind of just have that option to go into college so early,
yeah,
because you typically follow like some sort of like way that you have to do like high school, and then once you turn 18,
yeah.
17,
It
then
was
you kind
because
of
of
go
the
into
type of
college.
school. Yeah, it was because of the type of school. It was this specific school that was focused on mathematics and science. So it was we needed to make sure that we have extra credits on both science and mathematics. And because of that, I just found a loop, and I was meeting all the requirements in order to be able to graduate on time.
Wow.
Because in ninth grade, at 14, I already was taking more classes than usual. And also, it was because financially that school was free. That type of school, that type of school, it's free in Puerto Rico. So that's why I was able to join.
Wow. Is it like a state school then?
It's called CROEM, CROEM, and after I graduated, it opened. I think I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I think it opened 2 other schools, and they are just changing the name of the town. So the M at the end, it's another letter based on the town that is founded. But it's free. It's a free school, and it has an amazing curriculum in order to help people.
Okay.
I remember that I found when I found out that I wanted to go there. I remember my school teacher telling me that I didn't have what it takes to go to the school.
Wow.
I remember her name and everything. It's crazy, when people tell you something like that, it's like. And I remember that she told me that, and I was like, "Well, dude, I'm going." I'm going. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and so as a 15-year-old in college, right? I mean, you knew that at one point you wanted to pursue like a bachelor's, and eventually you did a master's. But what do you recall? Kind of like, what was that time that you were like, okay, I need to make sure I go to school, and I need to make sure. Like, what was that motivation that pushed you to say, okay, no, I really need to go for studies, and I really need to at least get a bachelor's, and kind of go for that? Like, what was that motivator?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. It was probably 12 to 13, and it's crazy because that's super young. But things at home were not good, and I needed a way out. So I went to a specialized school, the one that I told you.
Yeah.
And, so I could go to college as soon as possible. And so I wanted to become, and I remember that I wanted to become an architect at that point, and ended up becoming a mechanical engineer. So we were like 5 women total in my class, because at that point it was a guy's curriculum. Yeah, predominant. Like but it was really early, and the motivation was just my family. I love them to death, but I needed to get out of there for my mental health and to make sure that I was able to do what I was meant to do. Because I mean, when when you're a thriving person and an achiever, you know that you want to do something else.
Yeah. So your motivator was essentially you. Like, you were the one that was kind of pushing yourself to kind of pursue that degree and for your better future, right?
Yeah. For me, the motivation was my family, but the motivator, as you say, was myself. Like, I wanted to be sure that there were certain things that there were happening in my life that I don't want them in my life, and I don't want them for my future, for my legacy. So I needed to do something else.
Yeah, and while you were going to school, so young, right? Was your experience a little different? Like, did your teachers kind of take you not so seriously because you look so young, or like, how was that experience for you?
Actually, no. I just started to experience. How do you say machismo in English? I'm not sure.
I can't think of the word right now.
So it was a male predominant world, right? So I started experiencing very early, like what we are still experiencing as women. And I compared that situation with white male in the corporate world, like this mid-aged white male predominant corporate situation. It was almost the same thing. Somebody saying that igual machismo. So it was experiencing all that at an early age. So that's crazy, for a girl to be going through that. And it's still a teenager, but that's still happening. That hasn't changed. I think that we are more aware of that situation, and that helps. That may help future generations to avoid and to encourage people not to treat other people that way, other women that way. But yeah, it was the same thing. Aside from that, like no special treatment, no anything. And because of my friends, I was able to stay in my lane in order to actually finalize the whole thing.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like a lot of our Latinx cultures tend to still have this whole machismo like culture. And like you said, I think now we're being aware that we're pushing to not
the stereotype.
Right. So I think that we're doing a really good job of like making it aware and pushing ways to just not have that anymore. And so I just hope that we keep the fight going.
Definitely. We need to keep the awareness to make sure that the future generations don't go through this.
Right. I definitely agree. And I mean, with your majors in engineering, it's very kind of rare to see a lot of women within those majors, right? Because like you said, they tend to be more male dominant. So like what was that convincing like factor that told you like, no, I'm able to do this even though there may not be a lot of representation as a woman in that major, or like that program? What was like that whole like motivator to tell you constantly and remind you like you're fine, you're okay, and you're able to do this,
So we were like 7 women, but we were all together. Like we were in this together, and we are pretty good friends. One of the friends that I told you about from school, she was in that major as well, so that really helped me a lot. But at the end, like it took me 6 years to graduate college. No, 6.5 years, because I did several internships in order to be able to gain experience, but also to be able to have enough money to go back and pay my apartment for the whole year. Like I went to the internship, come back, pay the whole year, and did the same thing all over again until I finished. When I graduated, there were so many women in that department and in school, in college. Like there were so many women in compared with when I started. So that actually feels good, because you can see the generations changing and empowering each other in order to be able to try. So that was amazing. And to answer what helped me through it, I had a group of friends, not only women, but male friends as well. And we continued to talk like almost on a monthly basis, we are there for each other. And those people like really helped me go through it. And everybody they were, at some point, they had even they were the same age as me, because I started early, but then I kept meeting people, right? So at some point it was normal for me. Like there were no different experiences because I was younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's awesome that you had also support from people or students that were also in your program, and also coming from men, right? To like not be this competition, but rather like let's all go together as kind of like as a family, and let's all help each other out. So like that's awesome. I think that's really, it speaks a lot on like how if you come together and you support each other, like you guys all can be winners,
No, definitely. And having people on your corner that are behaving like what you expect in a man, or what you expect in a generation, like I feel like it's good. Like I feel like we're learning slowly how to behave and how to treat women.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
definitely agree. So yeah, then let's kind of talk on
yeah,
kind of what you're doing right now. So like your career, you kind of mentioned how you're in the healthcare industry and
yes,
managing that. So can you talk a little bit more about kind of what you do in
of
your nine
course.
to five?
Yeah, of course. I work in the healthcare industry, as you said, managing project for a portfolio of products
Mhm.
towards refractive eye surgery. So it's pretty cool and pretty rewarding. Before this, my whole career has been towards product and project management for the medical device industry. So, and I could really like, once I started Fuel Your Business, I realized that I could leverage all that experience into my business in order to be able to strategize and manage projects and resource and everything else correctly. So at the beginning, when I started this business, I almost thought that I should go towards the online business management career in the online business, and then I decided like, hey, Wanda, no, what you want to do is to empower people and to help them thrive. So I decided to go into business coaching because that's what
Mm.
fuels me. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, like the reason why you really wanted to dive into starting your own business for your project was essentially to just help people with just any kind of business coaching related like
Yeah.
request or anything that you can kind of help them to guide
Yes.
them. So yeah, talk maybe a little bit more about kind of what you do, what you actually like focus in within
Mm-hmm.
your business and your project, and like if people are interested
Of
in
course.
working with you, like what you could do for them.
Of course, cool. So I have been coaching for 2 years, but it wasn't until the pandemic hit that and I noticed that I was about to lose my job. So I
Mm,
decided to take it online, like leverage all that I have and leverage all that I was doing already in business coaching. But my business at that point was because only from referrals. So I wanted to take it
mm-hmm,
online and expand the whole thing, and start
mm-hmm,
growing. So. I decided to go online and into coaching per se. So, and the why, it's basically because I want my clients to feel empowered. I
mm-hmm.
want my clients to become 1% better than yesterday. I mean, in a year,
Yeah.
that's more than 300% better, and that's crazy. Just that we don't think about it like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
seeing my clients empowered just lights me up.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
go ahead.
and what would you say are kind of like your next goals um, moving forward with your project, with your project
Yes.
business?
Yeah, so if you let me, I'm gonna tell you all the goals for the year, but I'm gonna focus only on Q2
Uh-huh.
because we are entering Q2 tomorrow.
Okay.
So we are currently accepting applications for one-on-one coaching. So the one-on-one coaching is focused on the emerging entrepreneur that needs a specific custom blueprint on how to kick off and set all the foundations that you need in order to grow your business. So
Mm.
we have somebody here that resonates with that. Just shoot me a DM and we can start talking because I really will. I have all this knowledge that I want to share with people and help
Yeah.
them feel empowered and better than yesterday, as I said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so if anyone is really interested in coaching and being able to kind of take your business at a higher level and have a coach
Yeah.
like Wanda that knows so much, like please guys feel free to reach out to her. She has so much to share. And I know that she'll take care of you for sure on that
Of
end.
course.
So
Yeah.
so for sure, reach out to her. She's an open door. So with
Yeah.
any kind of help that you need, definitely reach out. And so Wanda, what would you say was kind of like who keeps you motivated and inspired? Um, having a 9 to 5, right? But then also running your business. Like who's kind of
Yeah.
that motivator every day to be like, okay, like I'm doing all of this, and this is my
Yeah.
motivation. Like what is that?
Oh, that's so good. I will say my family. I mean,
Mm,
this is towards wealth, and I know that this is not a common answer, but it's towards wealth. Like I
mm-hmm,
want to provide wealth for my family and my legacy to future generations. So because
mm,
I am doing this to break the mold. We already talked about kind of my history, even though I didn't tell you why. and I don't want to get into that, but this is to break the mold. So definitely
Yeah.
my family.
Of course. Wow, that's super empowering. Well, yeah, that's amazing. And I know that when you have a good purpose and you really
Yeah,
know like how much you can impact, you know, and leave that legacy for future generations, like that is so empowering. So that's awesome that you definitely
yeah,
know what kind of objective you want to take and what you want to
yeah,
like the purpose behind this all, you know, and it's
yeah,
so empowering to know like
yeah,
that it's such a really good, valuable, like an important thing to promote, you know, and to leave
yeah,
for your future legacy. So that's amazing. So props
yeah.
to you. That's awesome.
Thank you, Jenny. You're awesome.
Yeah. So Wanda, now as part of the
Yeah.
interviews, I like to incorporate like a really fun way to get to know you.
Okay.
So we're gonna play this game called This or That. So I'm gonna give you
Okay.
two options, and you're gonna choose which one you prefer. Okay?
Okay. Shoot.
Okay. So what does Wanda prefer? Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Anybody that knows me, I mean, look at this. Coffee. Coffee for sure. Puerto Rican strong coffee.
Coffee, yeah. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of Puerto Ricans tend to go for coffee. It's kind of like within your culture, ¿no? Como que.
Yeah, yeah. And seriously, if somebody wants me, if you're not living in Puerto Rico or anywhere, like like if you're Latino and you want Puerto Rican coffee, just let me know and I can send you some for sure.
Aw, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
some Puerto
Yeah,
Rico
I
coffee
hear.
beans.
Yeah, I hear that the Puerto Rican coffee is really, really good, no?
It is. And if anybody's visiting Puerto Rico, I know that somebody's going to Rincon, just let me know because we can have coffee. We can do
Yeah,
something and have coffee.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so Wanda, what do you prefer? You prefer morning or night?
Uh, I prefer night, but
Okay,
breakfast.
okay, nice. Nice. Okay, and for you, what would you prefer, summer or winter?
Uh, I would say
That's a hard
winter.
one.
I mean, Navidades in Puerto Rico are
Um,
freaking amazing. So I will say winter.
Really, even though,
Yeah.
I mean, Puerto Rico with like the weather and it being so beachy and like just always like a
It's
good
just that
time for the beach.
I mean, I can go to the beach any day, right? And I'm
Uh,
sorry to the people that are having a hard time right now with the temperature and whenever you are. But in Puerto Rico, I can always go to the beach. And Christmas
mm,
in Puerto Rico, it's really amazing. It's wow. It's a whole cultural thing. The
mm,
music, the food, yeah, definitely winter. And it's colder than usual. I mean,
mm.
maybe only 10 degrees colder, but it's colder.
Yeah, okay, okay. Good to know. Okay, what do you prefer, breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast, for sure. Breakfast.
That's your go-to.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, food-wise, do you prefer pizza or burgers?
Pizza. I don't know. I don't like the taste of meat with bread. I don't know why.
Mm, really?
Like, I don't eat burgers or hot dogs.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
But I can have rice and beans every day for the rest of my life.
Like a true Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so what do you prefer, Netflix or YouTube?
Uh, Netflix for chilling, YouTube for anything business related.
Okay, okay. Okay, nice. What do you prefer, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate. Chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. And dark chocolate or
Any chocolate but
any?
white.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, okay. Nice. Okay, and do you prefer to shop for clothes or for makeup?
Clothes. Clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, nice. Okay, and this is the last one.
Okay.
Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs. I have two, Robbie and Hershey. They are two
Oh,
beautiful Shih Tzu.
oh, Shih Tzus?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so
They're
sweet.
like this big, probably.
Yeah, they're
Well,
little.
I actually have a reel today that I used one of my dogs. Like I was
Mm.
speaking to him, and it was amazing because he even looked at the camera when the other person was talking in the reel. It was amazing. Check it out.
Oh, that's so cute. Um, Awesome. Well, that was the end of that little game, Wanda. So thank you
Okay.
for sharing. And so we're getting kind of to the end of our
Okay.
live, and I always like to also kind of share from your perspective, like what would
Yeah.
be kind of that advice that you would give to our Latinx community, especially for
Yeah.
example that we're running like the 9 to 5 and then doing like a side thing, a side hustle, or like
Yeah.
in your case you have a business, I also have a business, and I'm also doing
Yeah.
the 9 to 5. So like what would you give as advice for all of us that are kind of juggling those two worlds,
Yeah.
um, or just any advice in general that you could give to like our community in general that's helped you in your process in your life and anything that you can think of.
Yeah, sure. So I have two things. The first one, in regards to juggling your 9 to 5 and your business, will be to be present in both. Most of us wants to be or are high achievers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we want to be high performers in in everything that we do. So
Hmm.
if we want to do that, we need to be present. Of course, we are anybody with two jobs. It's gonna be a master scheduler. Like you're gonna schedule everything in order to actually make things happen. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're taking the time to be present, make sure that sorry, if you're making the time to be to schedule something, then you should ensure that you're present in those. And being present, it's so effective, even though we don't realize sometimes. And the
Mm-hmm.
second, about being a Latina and everything else, it's like, I mean, being a Latina at any job, it's still hard, right? It's so hard. And don't let anybody take away what fuels you. Like, I want you to feel empowered and to pursue that scary dream, that, the dream that you don't even say out loud. Everybody
Uh-huh.
has one. So don't let anybody take away that, and feel empowered to do whatever you want to do, uh, because you should do what makes you happy. That's my purpose
Yeah.
in life.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that. Those are great. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you
you.
so, so much.
Thank you.
Wanda, well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story, to share what you do. And although it wasn't at times easy, and it's never easy for a lot of us that are
Yeah.
juggling all kinds of different stuff, to be
Yeah.
successful in whatever that may mean for all of us, I think
Yeah.
that I really hope that people do find this inspiring. I'm pretty sure they will.
I hope so.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and if people were to want to reach out to you
Yes.
for, if it's guidance, if it's advice, if they want to work with you within your whole business coaching, like where can they find you, or where kind of what's kind of the way to get in contact with you?
Of course, and even if you want to chat, I mean, my DMs are always open. So I'm gonna drop here. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, I'm gonna drop my handle in here for your project.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you want to chat, no pitch nor anything, then like feel free to DM me. I am doing this because I want to make genuine connections, especially with the
Yeah.
Latina community. So please reach out. I would love that. But so my handle in any social media platform is fuel your project, as I put in the chat. And also my website, I can give that to you. It's fuelyourproject.com,
Mm.
and the link is in my bio as well. Yeah, yeah, maybe probably those two. Anyway, it's fuel project about anything. You can just go and write that down, and it will appear in your search bar.
Yeah, I'll make sure to include all that in my
Thank you.
postings as well. But yeah, thank you again, everyone. Thank you, everyone that joined us today. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Wanda, for sharing your story again. I know it's going to inspire a lot of people to pursue whatever it is, that secret that they want to kind of
Yeah.
execute. If it's a career, if it's a job,
Even
if
if
it's
you don't say it aloud, just, yeah, I hope that inspires you. And if you don't want to say it to anybody, just shoot me a DM and let's talk about it, because I want to hear you.
Yeah, she's there for us, guys. She has so much knowledge, so feel free to reach out
Mm,
to her if you guys do have any questions. También habla
yeah.
español, obviamente.
Sí,
Uh,
sí, habla español.
Entonces también para la comunidad
Yep.
latina que quiera servicios de coaching para su negocio
Yep.
o cualquier proyecto, Wanda puede ayudarles también. Así que
Sí.
aquí pondré toda su información para que se puedan comunicar con ella directamente. Pero gracias de nuevo, Wanda.
Gracias a
Thank you
ti,
so
Jenny. Un
much.
abrazo. Un abrazote a todo el mundo.
Sí, igual. Gracias a todos por conectarse. Thank you everyone for joining.
Bye, everybody.
And we're coming for more. Take care.
Bye.
Hasta luego. Bye.